So we got a lot to talk about today. There is a whole bunch of reveals coming courtesy of JT Prime 17. These are all retail computer listings. And a lot of these have to do with the fact that in the next couple of days is going to be the Target Summer Geek-Out event. That'll be happening June 16th, 2023. And what the Summer Geek-Out event is, it's similar to the Collector Con that Walmart does. It's an online on-web store event with these retailers where they pretty much reveal brand new exclusive toy-related product and could be go up for pre-order to purchase. And chances are, because all of these are Buzzworthy Bumblebee related, and this is a Target event that's coming up in the next couple of days, this is going to be all stuff related to that. So be sure to check out the Summer Geek Out on June 16th, 2023 on Target's website. Now, what are these items? Well, they're all Buzzworthy items, and some of them are pretty exciting. So we got a Buzzworthy Bumblebee 4-pack, we got a Buzzworthy Bumblebee 2-pack, and then we got a Buzzworthy Bumblebee reissue. So that even is great for people who missed out on older product. So let's jump into it, make sense of it here like we always do on the Transformers Slag podcast. And the first one we're going to cover is the Transformers Buzzworthy Bumblebee Legacy Evolution Troop Builder Multipack. So these are these 4-packs that we've started to get now through Buzzworthy Bumblebee. And the last one that we got, the Creatures Collide 4-pack, that one gave us multiple heads, so you could have different interpretations of these characters. And what was cool about these multiple heads was it was something that didn't go to waste, because a lot of times with Transformer toys today, they're molded with multiple heads, and they usually throw one out and they use one with a character. This time, now we get to take advantage of that and use both heads here, and sometimes brand new sculpted ones. And who are these new characters? What is this stuff? So the first one we have here we're going to talk about is a Deluxe class Baliff. Now, the Baliff was something that we originally got, even in this sculpt, with the Pit of Judgment, supposed to be San Diego Comic-Con box set a while back. It was a retool of that Earthrise Deluxe class Quintesson Alicon, and it had a new head sculpt, some new accessories, and was part of that Pit of Judgment box set, but in a brown kind of color scheme that wasn't very accurate. And this time around, we're going to be getting a more accurate colored Baliff this time around, but it's also going to come with the alternate head sculpt of the Alicon, so you could build this giant Quintesson army of goons for your collection. Pretty cool, especially if you're an 86 movie fan like me. So I'm going to dig that one a lot. And again, it looks much nicer in this more, I guess we'll call it Sharkticon / Quintesson colored color scheme. And that brown really threw it off with that Pit of Judgment set. So we got an upgrade right here. The next one we have here is a very exciting one, because we don't get enough love for Generation 2. And we have a Deluxe class G2 Jhiaxus Trooper. This is a very clever and good use of the Skull Grin mold that we got through Legacy. And now we have something where the more you look at it, it's a retool from that Skull Grin mold, and it works very well with it. So for people who are confused, what is this character? What's the story with it? So the 90s G2 Simon Furman comics through Marvel, we had the Jhiaxus character and his Cybertronian empire. And his Cybertronian empire was just filled with all this militaristic-based kind of Cybertronians, tanks and jets and everything like that. And he had a lot of goons, a lot of cronies, and they all had that similar kind of shape with that teal in the chest and very skull kind of based head sculpts. And we have two different variations of that. We have one that's like a skull with horns, and one is a skull with a mask over it with horns. And it looks really, really good. And again, because it's that Skull Grin mold, it transforms into a tank and kind of fits in with that Cybertronian Empire design and look. The only thing I'm kind of bummed about, there was a named character from the Cybertronian Empire named Rook. And Rook also had a very similar kind of color scheme to this and shape that was part of Jhiaxus's crew. And it, kind of a shame that one of the heads was not Rook's head and the other one could be an army builder. But I mean, I could see myself taking that masked skull head and then busting off those white horns, and then you could kind of have a Rook character out of it. So I guess it could be done. But then again, who knows? Maybe they're saving it to do an exclusive Rook later on. Who knows? We will see. But I dig that one a lot. That's really cool. As a big fan of the Simon Furman books from the 90s. Very cool. Now, this one here depends on where you're coming from, but this Voyager class Seeker army builder could be considered a blessing in disguise or just another boring release. Now, you're probably wondering, why is it colored like Thundercracker? Like, couldn't they have done something a little better? I kind of agree. I would have went with the more generic purple Seeker the Air Warrior as it was in that Bakhan 6-pack that we got a while back with the Heroes of Cybertron PVCs, or later on, building that army builder army. I would have went with that purple instead, but I think they want to use that probably for another future release and not waste it here. I see this as a two-pronged release. Number one, when you look at Morta Meets the Eye Parts 1 and 2 of the original G1 cartoon, there's a gamut of generic Seekers in the background that range between all different shades of purple and blue. And depending on how the cells were painted that day, depending on the VHS transfer that you have, depending on the DVD version you own, whether it be Rhino or Shout Factory, there's different shades of purple and blue all across those generic Seekers across those 2 episodes. So I guess you could kind of say it represents that. On the flip side of it, if you're someone that didn't get that Target exclusive, and it's also a Target exclusive, it was all those years ago, that Target exclusive Earthrise 2-pack with Skywarp, that 2-pack with Thundercracker. If you didn't get Thundercracker through that, now you kind of get another opportunity. This could be your stand-in Thundercracker, because really it's not that much different from the other one. So I guess, like I said, it's something that, depending on your mileage, this either works for you or is kind of a filler in this box set otherwise. And then the next one here, this is great because this is a little bit of Transformers animated love and a little bit of Transformers Kiss Play love. 2 lines I love for different reasons. But we have the Deluxe class Autotrooper here today. A extensive repaint, but otherwise just a brand new head sculpt of the Siege Ironhide mold. And this is a character that originated from the Kiss Play line created by Yuki Ashima. And the 2 different head sculpts you have here is one that's based off of the Kiss Play design, which is the red visor and the different kind of sculpting with it with that. And then you have the animated version, which debuted at Bakhan 2011, which has the blue visor. So you have a choice between animated or the G1 Kiss Play version. So that's pretty cool. So it's also an animated kind of celebration character. And because of that Siege Ironhide mold and the way that that chest opens up, maybe you can even fit in a little female human character in there and have some Kiss Play stuff going on. I don't know, but still, I really dig this 4-pack. There's a lot of cool little things for everyone in it. A little bit of Generation 1 movie, a little bit of G2, a little bit of generic G1 Seeker, or getting your Seeker Thundercracker if you missed out, and a little bit of anime or animated or Kiss Play. So nice little fun set there. Next thing we're going to cover is something we kind of half of it covered before, and it was, we had that dying Prowl we talked about. We kind of tried to make sense of what's going on. Now we know here that it is a 2-pack, and it's going to be coming with another fellow Shuttle dying member of Ironhide. So the Ironhide that comes with it is a remold of the Voyager class Studio Series 86 Ironhide. It has a brand new chest, which has a 5mm peg hole in his chest with all that battle damage, and a brand new head sculpt in distress and pain. And now that we see the chest and the hole of the Ironhide, we now look at the Prowl and go, ooh, maybe that hole wasn't that present in the CG stock photos that we looked at. But I think that there's also might be a 5mm peg hole in that battle damage for the Prowl too. And the purpose of those 5mm peg holes in their chest is that this thing also comes with 6 different blast effects, pretty much the Commander class Jetfire, his blast effects, but all done in a Decepticon laser purple and the explosion purple. And you could plug these into their chest to reenact them getting shot to death by the Decepticons in the shuttle scene of the 86 movie. So that's kind of what that represents. So now we know how this set is going to work. And it's a bunch of beat up Autobots with a whole bunch of blast effects. And the last thing we're going to cover is we have a reissue. There's going to be a Buzzworthy Bumblebee Studio Series Leader Class Age of Extinction Grimlock reissue. This one actually has a code. It's going to be $55.99. No changes. Otherwise, it's going to be exactly the same like the original Studio Series Leader Class Age of Extinction Grimlock. So if you didn't get this guy, now you have a second opportunity and you don't have to worry about the secondary market with the old one and people scalping it. So that's another great one too. A whole bunch of Target exclusives here today. And one of them that technically is a Target re-release in that of the Sky and the Thundercracker in a small sense, because that was a Target exclusive all the way back in Earthrise. Ton of cool stuff here. Chances are everything we're talking about here today, like I said, the Summer Geek Out, June 16th, 2023. Be sure to check it out, Target.com's website. We'll obviously cover it here on the Transformer Slag podcast and keep you updated when we get the better images of the alt modes and everything's more clear, the prices, the pre-order dates, and everything. But again, June 16th, Summer Geek Out, Target's website. Go check that out. It's going to have Transformers, Star Wars, Marvel, WWE, Pokemon, all the brands, all the great brands. So be sure to check it out. And we'll talk again real soon here on the Transformer Slag podcast. And thank you for listening.